if you just look at the problem along racial lines, a state like mine, which has 12% African Americans, but the prison population is over 60% African Americans. If you look at all the blacks in America that are under criminal supervision right now, there are more blacks under criminal supervision, in jail, in prison, under probation, parole, more blacks under criminal supervision right now in America than all the slaves in 1850. And the tragedy of this is that it's not making us safer. In fact, it's making us less safe. Let me give you a data point. 84% of the murder victims in Newark, New Jersey, according to a Rutgers study, 84% have been arrested before an average of 10 times. These are the victims. And so what you do when you create a society where you have the over-criminalization of nonviolent drug offenders, you not only impact them and their life trajectory, trapping them in an underground economy in a world that's very dangerous, but you also then impact the families, children, and create extraordinary expense for society. And this is what gets me very excited about this organization, because when they start analyzing the data, to me, it is profound the difference we could make by focusing on not that many people. A small amount of people, indeed, can make transformative change throughout our nation and therefore throughout the world. Think about this now. We have a nation where it costs 51% of median income to go to a year of college. 51%. Now, I am a competitor. I have this idea that I want America to lead the globe. But when I look at what our competitor nations are doing, I now understand why America, who used to be the top nation in the globe for percentage of their population graduating from college, now is falling precipitously, dropping dramatically in comparison to our competitor nations, because our competitors understand, keep college costs low and get more people in there, especially in the STEM degrees. And so 51% of your median income to go to college in the United States, Germany, around 4%. Canada, around 5% of median income. England, around 6%. And so when I think about what's going to keep our country competitive, we are not, as a nation, empowering our most valuable natural resource, which is young people, human beings. And so here we are as a nation, where the barriers to productivity, the barriers to fueling our economy, the barriers to making manifest the genius of our people are getting higher and higher and higher. And it's hurting not just poor folks, but all of us who are bereft of that productivity and that genius. And so much of these things on the policy landscape, I don't even talk about them anymore in simply of the moral urgency, but I talk about them in terms of the economic urgency. That dollars invested in many of these things produce massive returns. But instead, we're a society that wants to invest more on the back end of problems. Our democracy is becoming a spectator sport, and we're all implicated in that. Come on, if you're like me, you're sitting home watching MSNBC, or sometimes if you're like me, I switch to Fox just to see how upset I can get. and it's no longer information to engage and ignite action. It's information to entertain. And we get stuck in a state of what I call sedentary agitation. Okay? Which means we get so upset about what's going on, but we don't do something about it. And this gets me back to this organization. Because I get upset when people want to point the fingers of blame so easily, but they just won't look in the mirror and ask, where am I responsible? We are in urgent need of leaders in and around America, because change does not come from Washington. It comes to Washington. And it's led by grassroots soldiers like Frank Hutchins, who never give up on their vision of America because they love this country. And love is not a passive word. It is not a soft word. It is not a being word. It is a word that demands sacrifice, that necessitates sweat, sometimes blood, an urgent, indefatigable commitment to a greater vision for us. And to me, it's the love and the heroism of not people within the legislature, but people within the larger American context that brought about that kind of incredible civil rights transformation. And it was their love that was able to dramatize the already dramatic injustices and raise the moral imagination of our country, fueled by love, to expand our moral imagination in order to start seeing a country, seeing a country that even though it didn't exist, a vision that really helped to compel us. As they say, without a vision, the people will perish. And so for me, as I look at our country right now, I really do believe we need those agents of activism who are righteous forces of love that can help to increase the vision of our country for what we can be, should be, and must be.
Political views, and so these kinds of games are being played to segment out, just shave off just enough of portions of the electorate to keep them from voting or to make it